over and wave, but you don't really have such great power hitters. In fact, Darkseer is such a bad right clicker that they added a guard for him. Sorry.
I think it's great.
Either way, I think we can both agree that the tower push, even earlier from the side of Winstrike, is looking much better, if alone because of the Shaman.
The Darkseer build as well that we saw the last time we casted him, which was build is kind of countered by Brew as well. You have a fair amount of lane clear on Bat on top of that, so I don't think it's the best build this game, which kind of limits Darkseer's options. You can still do it if you want that extra lane push, and you can play like a pseudo Beastmaster on Darkseer, but it's tough for this game for sure. So I think the right Darkseer is more of a traditional aura carrier, mitigate the damage, help your PL early. That's what you're going to be going for. Nice body block there by Pantomem. Winstrike still slows him down, but Wraith King doesn't want to lose any farm, so Excess Vampire will be.
Yeah, so he caught himself there in a bit of an awkward spot. Well, so I'm surprised he wanted to test, but he's doing this just to be able to steal the creep wave. Of course, unfortunately, he aggro. Blizzy's here, however, to re-aggro the creep. They're eating up quite a few assets out from Disruptor, who doesn't have an insignificant amount of damage and a pretty good attack animation. Also, he doesn't. But so far, so decent for Gambit. Of course, free lane for the Wraith King for now. It's going to get more difficult with level 2 on Shell. Off lane, they're already getting annoyed by chshrct. Do you remember fire damage for like days I was in the game?
I hated that. I thought that was a very stupid interaction. I'm playing Pokemon or Dota? No, I like that they changed it to the magical damage. Mainly because it made Brew a viable pick. Like, are you kidding me that I'm going to pick chkhrct just to activate Brew's Cinder Brew? That's so dumb. But now with the magical damage, Brew actually can go for really nice builds here. Oracle could be in trouble. Yeah, look at this. chshrct's like, nah, I'm not a carry, dude. I don't need to farm. I can just put more pressure onto you. Nice fortunes and dispel the Cinder Brew, and he should be okay thanks to.
Oh, missed uphill there, so he's gonna.
I like that the Brewmaster as well with the new Cinder Brew.
Sorry, that Batrider was glitched. It was just a red blimp. There it is. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, I guess because it's. Well, that's because he's turning around though. That's what the Scarecrow looks
so
below.
Confusing.
Dude, Glance Valley.
What hero is that?
That is kind of confusing.
It's a blimp. What is a Goodyear blimp doing here?
I mean, that Scarecrow is really creepy.
It's a nice looking skin. I'm not gonna lie.
I love it, but what is it?
Why does he turn around?
Why is he riding a Scarecrow? Is that a person that he enslaved? Like, a lot of questions. That's Batrider is doing. But I think the Brewmaster with the Cinder Brew now, you can actually max Cinder Brew. You get more DPS for your mana, which used to be a big problem with Brew. Because you want to go face boots on Brew, but and then Soul Ring. But if you go face boots Soul Ring, you still lack mana. So the Cinder Brew build has been popular to use to negate that effect. However, with double Dispel, maybe the Thunderclap build is.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because they are just going to be able to get rid of those pretty much for free.
Yep. We'll see. I like what Winstrike is doing. 1k lead for them. They're doing the lanes pretty well. They're playing their lanes really well. Wraith King up top is suffering a bit though, as we can see Kinetic Field to help him out. That's a very good placement of the field.
It is.
Very nice defensive placement.
Yep, that means it doesn't have Glimpse level 2, which is okay because for the most part, you have to be ready to react to this very aggressive offlane. Earth Spirit, Darkseer, they want to do one thing, and that's just run at you with double Ion Shell, especially now that we have Ion Shell 2. So being able to take the kinetic field nice and early, which is, I think, a little bit better versus a Darkseer because it doesn't let him run away from you, and you establish that very early. That would be a big benefit. This does leave our Earth Spirit however without any regen in the lane, so he's going to have to run his ass all the way back home for something like that.
Find Bravil and the Batrider. That'll be okay, actually. Not enough to bring him down. And Shaman is just much more useful when he rotates, right? Oracle sees a glimpse of Shaman, he goes, I'm out of here, guys. I can't do anything. Tornado just to get the range creep. Wow.
Yep, nicely done. I mean, he's got the regen rune active as well.
See the power of the range creep in the lane? Like that Tornado, he missed the Batrider, didn't care, was just to get the extra experience. Very valuable to do those things. I think a lot of people at the lower levels forget how valuable the range creep is. Your support should be taking it if you can't take it. Like these small things matter a lot, especially in the mid.
Yeah, it's all experience, and that's why the mid lane is probably considered, I think, by everyone, including people that used to play it and no longer do. Anyway, it's just the hardest lane. You have to be mechanically on top of your game all the time, otherwise you're going to fall apart so quickly against people that really just know how to take advantage of every single little mistake you make.
That's why a lot of mid laners are young. They've learned the game recently. They still have a lot of tolerance for learning and increasing their level. And also their mechanical skills tends to be slightly better. Shackles, find the Oracle. Let's see, the Thunder Clap as well. Pupper does dispel most of the damage, but he's still going to die. Giving the first blood to Brewmaster, huge steal. Because this guy needs that kind of early game boost.
Exactly, they're going to be able to get Dark Seer in the top lane as well with the kinetic field. Access Vampire looking to run away. And well, he's not going to be able to save his comrade anyway. I think you can't boulder smash anyone up. Though I'm not sure, because the way the kinetic field works, and I still believe this works, is that if you're facing kinetic field and you try and move through it, it just sets your move speed to 0.
Yes.
So you used to be able to...
Oh yeah, you could leap if you were in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But you couldn't leap if you were in the side of it.
Exactly. Or you used to be able to also, similarly, use Hounds or Hurricane Pike active to get yourself out, as long as you move
Oh no, the Hurricane Pike, yeah, the Hurricane Pike bug was that you can use it backwards no matter what. Dyrachyo could be in trouble. That Iron Shell, fair amount of damage, and the punch from Blizzy. See, not a meme. Look at that physical damage. Trying to go for the second kill onto the Disruptor, and that was going to work out for them.
It is, yeah, nice job. They nuked the creep wave as well, so there's no danger of dying to creep. They both come out of this with very little HP, and unfortunately don't have a whole lot of regen here to use either, but they're happy to get those.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Mid laner Invoker has got his Urn of Shadows ready to go. He's going to be looking for perhaps his first charge, or just looking to harass and remove from Rebel. Rabel.
We apologize for butchering his name. It's just like we cannot do the
No, I don't have the Cyrillic pronunciation. Very difficult for Romance language people to be able to speak, generally speaking.
That's why. So we don't mean to. So if there's any questions in the chat, you want to correct us or help us out, guide us, we're happy to. That our pronunciation. We're not trying to offend him. We're just thinking to kind of the reality of it. Brewmaster in the bottom lane is now been left alone as we start to see more rotations from the Shaman. I think he's actually stacking for the Batrider as well.
He is, yeah, big old stacks here.
Okay, that's really nice actually. Is that 3 Ancients? 3 Ancients, and I think that's a triple stack on the normal camp as well.
No,
that's
just
double.
Or,
Okay,
a single, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah, that nomenclature is a bit.
It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird.
So there's two camps of creeps.
There's 2 camps waiting to be farmed, and there's 3 camps of Ancients waiting.
There we go. And the Batrider, usually you take it in mid, actually as early as possible. I'm hoping they probably go for the 4. The Ancient camp, because Batrider can take it.
Yeah,
the only difficulty though is that something that's bad, you need someone to tank the damage because they kill you if you...
They do a ton of damage. I think there was a clip from Derax where he kicked an Ogre into a triple stack Ancients or something like that.
Pantomem, okay, they go for the... Oh my gosh, the Wraith King, nice Wraith Fire Blast. But the slow is not effective against Dark Seer because the Surge, of course.
Did have the glimpse there, but again, just going for it.
It was a bit tough. I don't know if he... Like, because the glimpse level 1 is such a terrible range. He uses instead of the Earth Spirit. This time he does get it off.
Yeah, but the Batrider's here.
Exactly. There is a lasso available. I don't think he's needed though. He's gonna kill actually Vampire with fire damage. Come up there! You're misusing those spells!
Gonna lose out on this DD run here in the mid lane. Our Invoker, though, Lorenof really needs to get these Urn charges up and running, though. We've seen a Crossflex Invoker do about this well in the lane as well, farming nice and comfortably, but he's getting out-rotated by a Batrider, which is just naturally how this how this matchup is going to go. But that doesn't mean the Invoker can't try and gank one of these. I'd like to see him try and apply some pressure, as currently there is a pretty big deficit in favor of Winstrike here. Have the Wraith King comfortably on top, leading by over 13 yes.
Tactically, I think this is a tough game for them. The top lane is not an easy lane to gank with the Wraith King. He might be able to get away. Also, the Dark Seer Earth might just be bothering them in lane because they tend to just take advantage of overconfidence. Like you don't want to gank the PL either because you put more pressure there. Not like Brew is either. So as Invoker, the mid game is really great for you, but right now, I think actually the best play is either to gank with one of your 4s like they're doing right now, trying to create pressure up top, or just stay statically mid.
Oh, they find the Wraith King farming, but they want the Disruptor instead. They know there's only one person that could be realistically farming there. Batrider, by the way, starting to farm these Ancients, but let's go ahead and ride along here for this gank. As it very well could be the first 2 stacks of the Urn of Shadows, and it's indeed looking very likely. There we go, back to our Batrider, and look at this, all these things are just about dead. Yeah, those gray Ancients started off...
spill all over again.
Yeah, they started off gray, by the way.
Yes, they did. Oh, they're fully covered in sludge. Happens when you drive a car, guys. Here we use an electric van.
Oh, is that true? Is that canon now?
Yeah, that's canon as well. We're also environmentally friendly. Look at this. What a wholesome cast. Okay, now it finally finishes out the last big ink. take too much damage from it, and I think this might give him travels, yeah. It's very good timing for travels.
It is. They're getting their top tower pressure here, and in fact, they are going to lose their top tower first. They're going to look to apply similar pressure in this bottom lane as well. We'll hit the 10-minute mark.
Yep, the 10-minute mark, and we saw to the net worth. Now you can see our Wraith King is leading, but honestly, Invoker and Batrider, Invoker pretty farmed as well, actually beating the Batrider. However, what is dangerous right now is that chshrct has a really good early game, and him and Bat are more than enough to start getting kills all over the map.
That's true. It's going to be a little bit difficult for us to go onto our PL, because there's our hood, so that's going to be the one transition item. He's going to TP away from this bot lane, as that was going to be proving very, very lethal should he stick around. chshrct, as you say, already up to level 8, so he's got the ulti ready to go, but he's just going to be down this tower. They look like they want to try and apply some pressure here in mid lane, but we've got the Shaman ready to defend it, which is always a bit dicey to do. Earth Spirit at the ready to go, as is our Dark Seer, who has now put 2 points. So it's more your traditional Dark Seer build. He's just going to burn the mana off of Yamich. We've got a rotation, though, coming mid lane here. Smoke will now break off the Batrider. He's trying to access Vampire, hitting the flame break before the silence can come through, but that will force the Fortune's End. The Static Storm here at the ready as well. A little bit less tempting to use, though, now that you don't have a lasso, but they could now put some serious pressure onto this mid-tier 1 tower without the Fortune's End available. Sorry, without the False Promise, rather.
They're kind of just going to try to backdoor. I mean, with the Brew, you have so much liberty right now. They actually dropped the snakes. Oh, did they close the Batrider? I don't know that was focused. No, they definitely closed him in. You know, maybe Ali took away his mana. He has no Firefly. They have to break a tree. Okay, it wasn't the snakes. The snakes just pushed them next to a tree.
Yeah, but that means they're going to lose these Chosen very easily.
Yeah.
This Vampire making the jump. A good silence, but they need way more. And a big old crit out from the Wraith King. Dyrachyo is here, hexed up, and now shackled to death.
Yamich's like, guys, I actually can play this game. Oh my goodness. Punishing Earth Spirit for what we did last game to Yamich, getting some sweet earned revenge. And dyrachyo, playing quite aggressively early because he knows he can. Using the skeleton to push an early objective. And actually, he's going to make his own space by doing this carry is literally the definition of pulling yourself
Radiant's bottom tower.
He is, yeah, and that's mostly to do with the fact that the Batrider is going to be in the jungle, still taking a lot of the farm here. Looks like he's about to have his second item here. No, he's getting pretty close to that BKB, though, already with the Ogre Axe finished on him. Be in a good spot there. Witch's Blade finished up for our xshrct Invoker, as he's going to begin putting a couple of points here in the transition period, just beginning to start here. Still not a whole lot of damage. Invoker, of course, point, but we're going to start.
Bottom tower
Of course, he
is
can
under
cast
attack.
certain stunning blasts. He can pull nice wall, a couple other things that really be annoying. A Wraith King.
See, with the tornado, the EMP as well. This should not be too hard to kill. No mana for reincarnation. He did have magic wand, but I think it's actually better that he didn't use reincarnation.
It is, because that's
level
the thing.
1.
If he dies, it's the easiest ice wall setup in the world,
Exactly.
and then there's just what's the point?
Now Invoker's starting to be more impactful, and that's why I like this patience, right? He knew that he couldn't gank super
What a flame
early.
break. Not enough, though, unfortunately.
Knew this game, but he couldn't gank super early, so instead he waited a bit more patiently, and now he's starting to move around the map. This is not the usual timing for an Invoker plus Vex, but it's the appropriate for the match that he's playing. Sometimes I feel like, especially if you look at more amateur or Science Pro divisions, a lot of people just play on default, and they go for the standard way of playing a hero. Really, every game with Dota is different. So you have to consider all factors, and this is something I like about Lorenof. He did this really well. Very different to the game we saw from my because Lorenof actually having an impact as xshrct Invoker just a bit later.
It is, yeah, and now that he's got a couple of
scanning.
Zort, again, he's going to have those spells at his disposal. They're maybe going to look for a push here in the mid-tier, for the mid-tier 1, however. That's going to be a bit dicey. They don't have anywhere to rotate to, but an Arcane Rune on the Invoker means they're willing to at least toss a couple of spells here at the supports and really actually get a skill on Disruptor. Yeah, it hurts.
I like that Witchblade build on the Invoker was Vex, right? Synergizes really nicely with your Cold Snap. You also deal so much damage. Second best int gain in the game. I believe it's 4.5 a level that he gets. Pugna is 5.2.
4.4. 6, we're both wrong.
All right, close though. But, but it's the second best in the game for sure. And the Witchblade, of course, works really nicely with the stats the Witchblade gives you, particularly projectile speed, really help Invoker. Because Invoker with a nice alacrity early, hey, he actually deals a fair amount of physical.
Look at this, we're going for the Ag's first item for chshrct.
That's what I was talking about, right? The Brew. I love the Midas though. That keeps you in the game as Brew, so you're always relevant. And it boosts all.
So
surprise hex there. Again, it's just Yamich trying to punish Earthspirit for what happened last time.
It is,
He has his number, dude.
That's unfortunately not going to be quite the kill they were looking for, but a good smoke regardless. That's going to probably get that ward destroyed, however. That's providing them some pretty decent vision, so they're just about to be set to lose that. They also, but they drop serpent wards on top of that as well, so it's a bit of a costly sort of smoke gang. As chshrct able to evade the cold snap tornado combo.
That new active for Drunken Haze is so much better now because you actually get movement speed to escape.
And I want to point something out there. He would have gotten hit by that tornado if he turned around and moved back, but he very wisely just ran forward and then moved back.
Exactly. And taking advantage of the... Because what happens with... how it works Drunken Haze now is that you don't get the super slow movement speed. So you just go from normal speed to fast speed, normal speed, fast speed. And what you should do when you're playing Brew... Oh, they got the blink. Got the blink. Oh no, what is it called? The Heisenberg all over again.
Oh no, the Hindenburg. Oh, the humanity!
Sorry. Breaking Bad in my mind. Anyway, when you play Brew and you activate that passive, if you want to really take advantage of it, what you do is you walk forward in a straight line. Wherever you're going, you walk forward when you're moving fast, and then when the movement speed doesn't work anymore for you, like when you get the small bouts of low movement speed, you turn in those bouts, because your turn rate is not affected. And that way you can get the maximum ability. Again, they just want to murder the Earthspirit, but Pantomem might suffer as a result as well. He's trying to outrun the PL. He managed to do so because the Hex is available. The Sunstrike will still punish him though, and Bat is TPing right into the Brewlings because they are units, so they take advantage of this to catch up the Darkseer. They don't see him though because it's nighttime. Finally, they realize where he went. Finishing off cover instead. Blizzy trying to run away, but is this surge enough? Batrider is just matching your movement speed thanks to the Firefly buff and also the Boots of Travel. Taking napalm, making his turn rate really slow. Blizzy has been lassoed and finally killed off by dyrachyo.
Yeah, dyrachyo basically one-hit the Oracle there along with the DD and the crit that was at the ready. This is going to be the first fight he's showing up to now with the Radiance in tow. So he's starting to really get a lot of damage in here while building next into the BKB. This is going to negate a lot of Invoker's effective lockdown here versus he's now starting to put 4 points to have some more damage.
I agree. Best build against BKB.
Definitely.
And also because he already has the 4 points in Quas, you want to get 4 points in Quas like old Invoker, because now Forge Spirits, when you get 4 points in Quas and Exhort, you get 2. So that's a big damage boost. Yamich in middle lane. They actually get the kill this time.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, the Vampire's been trying all games.
They got the kill last time, Lorenof with a pretty fancy schmancy no-look.
Oh, the Sunstrike is no, that killed or something.
Oh, good call, good call.
So let's see, let's kill Puffer then. See what Winstrike.
Radiant's bottom
They try to push back with Phantom Lancer. Really bad positioning by Phantom Lancer. There's the Master Spell, clearing the illusions, and they know which was the real one. They false promise him though, and use the pass to try to run away. Batrider though, just faster than you, xannii, is capable of outrunning them as they counter instead their efforts on the Darkseer and get a nice little off-lane kill. But still, like, a pseudo win by Gambit, right? Because they managed to save their head.
It is, yeah, and Winstrike as well. They have to commit, or they choose to commit the Static Storm there against the Darkseer. They might be able to catch Access Vampire, however. We've got another glimpse ready in 10 seconds, and I think just too much damage here on the Batrider. Nice job there dodging, or blocking, rather, the Holder. There is no blimp.
So different, right? The impact Access Vampire is having. It's not like he's playing badly. You just have so many other ways. And you're seeing the Shaman similarly for Yamich working much better for Win. Because they don't have 5 stuns this game. They barely have any. Really, the Invoker and the Earthspirit are the ones that are going to cancel the Shackle. The Vacuum on the Shaman, that feels pretty good.
Radiant's bottom
just to cancel.
Yeah, it does, but sometimes it's the right move.
No, of course. I'm just saying that in this game, realistically, you have 2 ways of canceling the Shackles without really committing a big ulti. You have Axe now and Brew. This gives you 2 charges of Primal Split and allows you to stop Primal Split anytime if you want to and go on to whichever ruling you want. So instead of spawning always into the Earthspirit or Earth ruling, you will spawn onto whichever one you click, if you choose to do it. So what's really good about this is that a really good Brewmaster wait till the end of the duration and just spawn on the ruling.
Exactly. Traditionally, in case you don't know, Brewmaster's not really been the most big for the past 2-3 years even, right? I want to
Ever
say.
since DI4, I don't think he's had a ton.
Yeah, so if you don't know, he always, generally, without the X, is going to respawn back on the Earth ruling, which has magic immunity, no matter what. Unless you kill the other ones, then I think it respawns on the Storm and then the Flame.
Yeah, that's the order.
That's the order.
And
so,
then finally Void, now that they had.
oh yeah, now this is a Void. That's right, actually. I completely forgot.
So that's the last one.
Radiant's
So that's going to be the
bottom
last
tower
one.
is
So
under
I
attack.
don't know if it's order of release or whatever, but either way. But now with the choice, right? Before you would have a lot of people keep alive a certain ruling and then just surround it and wait for it to time out. No longer do you have that
tower
luxury.
is under attack.
That was actually pretty good. It gives Brewmaster a lot more viability. Also makes him infinitely harder, but Oracle, Shackles, easy kill. I don't think they're going to struggle too much. There's no DP. They're not going to take Oracle.
No.
No. Get some free Kentucky Fried Chicken here.
He goes, hey, you tanked the smoke, dude. Nice job.
And there, Winstrike. So the Brewmaster now with this back, by the way, I think becomes genuinely the hardest hero. This Primal Split is crazy. How many things you have.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Like what ruling you want to go into,
Radiant's
the
middle
spacing of
tower
your
is under
rulings,
attack.
make sure you don't lose the valuable one, particularly the fire one, which might be able to get you out of a team fight. There's so many things to. But a good player, we'll see, it just bedazzles you. I think chshrct's been playing a really solid game.
He has, I agree. We're going to see
Dyer's bottom tower.
top
is
lane.
under
They might have
attack.
actually been able to find our PL. He's going to be looking for the TP out. They have, however, the last one to cancel it. He has a lot of spells to use here. The Dark Seer as well running on over, but he's completely alone, which means that Yamich has more than enough control for him.
Oh, nice shot. That's good. And take another kill on the Phantom Lancer. Now let's see.
Dyer's
Gambit,
bottom
you need to
tower
recover
is
this
under
game, and
attack.
they're actually starting to struggle. And the Wraith King is getting his tempo now. I think we could say Wraith King is online, right?
I'd agree, yeah. He's going to be finishing up the BKB now. In fact, now he has
There you
it.
go. These are the two core items. You're set. I'm surprised to still see Wraith Kings going.
Bounty.
Because it used to be really good because it gives you more crits, right? So that's why people used to build it, and it's farming dramatically for what it is. Is anymore.
Gives you a bit more sustain, right, in the early levels as well, because that's not dependent on your crit, it's just dependent on you damage in.
Sure, like you get a bit more heal. I get it, but I'm just surprised.
No, I totally get it, yeah.
The best Wraith King players don't use
The Disruptor is dead. He makes an effort to dodge that one. Good Tornado to counter-initiate. Long stun, though, on the Earth Spirit. He's going to try and go and boost, but they push him right underneath the Tier 1 tower, giving them the true sight and enough vision and time kill.
Vampire, another kill. Right now, he is kind of playing that role of dead laner slash creep wave cutter, right? Because you don't have anyone else well in your team. Dark Seer will soon be able to do this, and he's built
Dyer's top tower is
a
under
bit risky
attack.
a build because of the Master Spell and the Brew, but still powerful. And since he didn't go for Necros, it's okay. You're not gonna kill your summoned units. This Ag is much more to give Iron Shell to probably the PL Illusion.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that it dispels is a little bit sketchy, though, because you're going to get that 375 effective HP.
Radiant's
It doesn't
bottom
count as a
tower is
heal,
under
so it's not
attack.
blocked by any traditional things like Ice Blast, like Vessel, or anything like that. It's much like Essence Ring. It just programs to go through. Otherwise, it would be busted on your...
Radiant are scanning.
Right, that's true.
Radiant's
It's extra
bottom
magic.
tower is under attack.
And that means that, of course, the spell then takes the
Yes, exactly, which is...
more damage.
Dyer's
Yeah.
middle
It's
tower
essentially like a
is
Timber
under
Saw
attack.
existing in the game, right? Whirling death to a strength. It's or an undying, sorry, the DK, that's better.
Gonna look for a fight mid, smokes on smokes, but Gambit in a good position here, holding onto the high ground as dyrachyo gonna head right on in, popping the smokes here, does not care. So he's gonna go for more now. We hear now the primal split as they're looking to push back, and they have found Lorenof completely alone. Forced to pop the BKB, Tornado EMP now onto 2. But the Serpent Wards have been dropped. They are gonna block a mid, but not for too much longer. There's gonna be now the Ghost Walk, but in the meantime, they've left the PL behind. Oh no, and he is going to go down yet again. Dead for 50 seconds. chshrct now dominating. They're holding down the Oracle as well. Yamich has free reign to hold down whoever he wants. In the meantime, another lift there onto the Earth Spirit. They're going to pull him right back down. They've got plenty of protection on hand. And that's going to be the third fatality of this fight.
You check for a second the PL death summer. I can only imagine that he got glimpsed. I was hoping it would show. I don't know why it was there. That's what I don't understand. Because he got caught by a static storm kind of by surprise. You're up against a shaman, so anytime that you're fighting alone, the PL style is that usually because of your mobility, because you're hard to kill, you like cutting into the back line and getting quick kills on supports. With a shaman, you can't do this. You need a buddy system with a shaman. You always need someone with no shackles. In this case, it seems like excess vampire would go in that role. We've already seen the Disruptor has enough to punish vampire there with a really good static storm.
Yep, and that's the nice part about playing Disruptor. When you are ahead and well, Tar ahead, 11
Radiant's top
Roshan.
tower is under
It's
attack.
amazing because you can pull back anyone, you can glimpse basically anyone without fear of a team. Right? There are times when you, especially in pro games, where they'll thank the Disruptor for going to them. Oh, thank you, I got 3 kills, or thanks, you saved my life. That doesn't really happen when you're playing Disruptor ahead. And
Exactly, you're up on
obviously
killing
why.
potential.
Yeah, I mean, that's
100%.
the second time he's glimpsed. Times it's led to kill. Normally, I mean, but if it peels ahead, that's going to be just a kill onto the Disruptor.
Yeah, it's hard to avoid now because what happens is that you'll still be moved and if you're in the invulnerability state. Remember they changed that much. Like with Astral, if you get glimpse as double, it won't necessarily put you in the extra spot. So what you want to do is that glimpse completes by the time that your double completes as well. So the double will supersede, the double movement will supersede the glimpse, which is not the case if you avoid it with the wrong time. It's a bit hard. I think BKB just to ensure that you can get the split off. Not great, to be honest. Kind of a waste of the BKB, kind of a waste of the split. But at least it's even.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be able to actually escape here pretty scot-free off the back of this one.
Yeah, we'll see. chshrct, he still has, of course, you see the split being used there to turn back into the storm.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
But he still has the double charge. I guess he has to wait a bit longer. They take the tier 2 down bottom just with... Oh, Wraith King.
Wraith King was there, yeah.
Skeletons are no. I do find that Wraith King has been playing a really good game, though. We talked about how Wraith King is a very static hero pre-Radiance, but not the case this game, honestly. He took advantage of PL's weak in points of inflect to just murder the Gambit lineup and really put pressure in the early game. Take objectives early, take away the map control that Gambit wanted to have. I think Winstrike is...
They really are, yeah. I think they're back to the shape in game number 1. Gambit, they've had moments of brilliance here and there. Here, I don't just use the Intel catchphrase here.
Oh,
just, you know, off the back of my head, that's what happens when you hire me for an FPL event.
They do have great processors.
They really do have great processors. That is very true. And Gambit, they've been processing this game as best as they could. Unfortunately, I think really Winstrike are just coming hard and fast. As chshrct just being incredibly annoying. He's got BK now, so he can very reliably stop. He's going to be going now for the Brewing, the Void Brewing. Fight taken off, that's his vampire. Oh, but look, they've caught the Invoker, hedged up and now shackled. But there's going to be now finally the vacuum to interrupt. That's going to allow Lorenof to get off the BKB as well as the false promise of 2 BKB to be heroes. Just chewing on the Earth Spirit. He's gone down in exchange, however, for our position 5 Disruptor.
They got stars here as well. Easy kill for them. Oh, and the lasso might secure the kill on the pencil answer. All right, this man felt a bit voyeuristic today, was watching the team fight unfold as he now loses all of his illusions in a matter of seconds, and he himself will lose his life. Batrider wants to go even further. Firefly still activated. We have an H on him. Pubber, I don't know if you can really dive this hard. Apparently, doesn't seem afraid. Sunstrike used, and Rabel will know to chill.
Nice.
Fate Phoenix should save Oracle towards the end. Tornado punishing Rabel for playing a bit too aggressively for the last bit of alacrity damage to finish him off. We do have a rolling folder available. Will they time it correctly? They won't. So that's the dead excess vampire.
Yeah, it could be even more, actually, as the Oracle Puffer just getting ran down by the Brewlings. The boulder being hurled and ultimately unnecessary. That'll be the new rock for his headstone there as he's dead for 30 seconds. Does have the buyback, but no ulti, so no point in using that to try and save Lorenof, who's now dead for a full minute. Now I'm feeling it's a chshrct. Can't win. 17 now, 18k up, and this is bound to be at least the mid lane of Barracks, but they're going to respect the buyback up from the Invoker and go ahead and back off. PL back to 3. Makes it a little bit too dicey to continue pushing.
So well, honestly. And I think Gambit, though, are starting to make a couple really egregious mistakes, right? That PL walk into the high ground after seeing both your cores that big.
Radiant's current
They're cores
has
too,
been
you know,
killed.
what do you think you could do above them, right?
Radiant's top
Why do you think you can
tower is
escape
under
that?
attack.
Especially because if you're keeping in mind all the ultimates with enemy team, which you should be doing in pro game, you know the lasso is available.
You know the lasso is available, and of course, pace of the ultimates, you also know that there's no false promise available. It was used to save the Invoker. He was able to get off the BKB. He completely, basically, took Shaman. But like you're saying, the Dark Seer was able to Akim wall combo. Even then, it wasn't the greatest thing. Invoker does manage to escape, but it's not quite the inhibitor needed stage or fight after that. But yeah, we're gonna continue to reap the consequences now. Looks like a tier 2 most. We are gonna get a piece of fortified, because they did have to knock down the along the way. Even without Aegis, well, King's built in with one. They're just about ready to go back up behind.
Don't want to use the fort.
No, but they will probably have to use it here.
100%. He's going for Swift Blink, by the way. I think the Blink Dagger changes were also a huge buff in Wraith King because he loves that item. And now you can actually build a Blink Dagger that gives you stats.
PL's farmed his buyback, so that's what the Fortify is for. Earth Spirit's quite close as well. But he just bought an item. No, not quite. Careful where it's dropped. That's going to force the issue.
Radiant's top tower is falling.
I'm not sure.
Right. Guys now, so cold snap to dyrachyo. I mean, dyrachyo's like
meatball.
He's okay with losing the reincarnation anyway. He has BKB when he comes back. Try to take him away, lift him into the plate as well. He activates BKB to make sure the EMP doesn't hit him.
Yeah, he can't. He still doesn't have the shard. He's not gone for it, so
he should consider buying it just to play safe.
I agree. Versus a PL, I think it provides too much value. Sunstrike is going to do no damage to him. What? How many points in Exhort do we have? Excuse me. Did that not hit him?
It does pierce BKB 100%.
I mean, he didn't even have the BKB up.
What
Roshan, anyway.
He's asking himself.
Yeah,
I agree, Pantomem. What weatherman sees that?
Hit him.
Seems like a very terrible Sunstrike. That's the dumbest thing, by the way, that one of your characters in the lore is that he's a weatherman.
Why is that dumb?
I just thought it was hilarious. Because like sorcerers and magic users and Invoker is just a sorcerer, right? Even though he invokes the elements.
Clearly you have not lived in an area that's prone to natural disasters.
Yeah, but Invoker summons a meteor. What do you call that but a natural disaster? When the Sunstrike hits you, is that not a natural disaster?
No.
So when I go on the sun and get burned to a crisp,
does that normally, is that what you think happens when you get sunstriked?
Yeah,
you get no, it's not a force of nature. That's
you get sunburned. It's like what happened in Australia.
Part about
Isn't that the ozone layer attacking you?
You gotta come live with me one summer in Illinois. With the wrath of nature.
I'm a European dude. I told you, if we have 5 centimeters of snow, our system collapses.
Yeah, exactly. And you think a weathermancer is weak?
No, he would kill Spain. Yeah. All of Spain sees us to desist. Let's see. Can they take the Rex now?
These top lane of barracks are going to see this pretty soon at this rate.
Yes. Another Primal split. They have 2 charges this time, so that's why they use one to demolish.
Dyrachyo's out of oh no, he's got the shard. It doesn't matter.
No. And you're like, oh hey, Axe doesn't really matter. I'm gonna cycle you, then master spell all your iron shells.
xannii, I mean, he frankly just doesn't have any damage as soon as Dyrachyo's out of the mana. They're going to drop the Serpent Wars as they continue to fight on the back lines they go. The BKB up on Yamich, and there's going to be now just a reversal there on the Flaming Lasso. In the meantime, they have caught the Earth Spirit. He's going to be shackled down by Yamich. They got plenty of damage for him to follow up. He's got the buyback. Sunstrike might just catch Dyrachyo. No, it's going to be split along with the Disruptor.
Blizzy also in trouble. Great Fire Blast does get reflected with the Lotus Orb. He's still dead. And Dyrachyo, by the way, still has his reincarnation. And been able to kill him once. In the backline, Invoker finally managed to get the kill on Yamich. That's one support that at least, to kill the Disruptor as well. So you get some minor kills and take away their team fight. We're out of splits now, and Pantomem are still alive. The Vacuum doesn't quite get them close enough to the wall, so they're getting Replica. That's getting Darkseer dead a second time. That's a dieback for him, but the Invoker, again, Lorenof, is the reason why they're getting kills this engagement. Managed to finish off the Batrider, who immediately buys back. The Wraith Fire Blast onto the Illusion, but they're still chasing after the Phantom Lancer, who is going to be saved by the False Promise. And the Oracle in trouble as they kill the Disruptor in the backlines, thanks to Lorenof yet again. But the fight continues in the enemy high ground, and now the target is the Phantom Lancer, the most important target here.
Buyback, though. He
has buyback and he will use it. Can they defend though? It's 3 versus 3. It's a fair matchup theoretically. But dyrachyo still has 2 lives. They take away his mana. He doesn't have the shard. They're going instead for chshrct. Much more valuable kill. He doesn't have the flip yet, just yet. Lorenof running away from the Wraith King, but the Meteor will guarantee the kill onto chshrct. And now dyrachyo is completely alone. And by some kind of miracle, Winstrike sort of defends this.
They do. They hold on for now. It's a bit costly. They have to expend the only buyback they had in their arsenal, but it was also a little bit costly for the side of Winstrike, who buy back on the Batrider as well. A strong fight, though, here by the side of Gambit, as they will hold on. Not quite against all odds, but this Wraith King is very, very farmed. And a good hold. They will lose, however, their top lane of barracks. They lose the mid lane of barracks, so they are not without, you know, losses here, and those are quite heavy losses indeed. It's going to be a bit harder for you to find the farm to get back in the game. Those 2 lanes constantly pushing in, especially in the mid lane, are going to be quite a pain in the side. 10-second BKB.
Oh my goodness! Did you see Lorenof? Look what he's building.
Is it divine?
Yes. Oh no! What? Guys, I am not insane. We just saw it.
It's okay, Alvaro.
People in the stream. He had divine queued. He's trolling.
It's okay. I understand. Sometimes it happens.
Anyway. Lorenof has been a huge impact this game. I think his early swapping into Exort was the right build this game because his impact as a late game Invoker is still there. And I think he's keeping the team. xannii at this point understands that all he can do is realistically wait out the team fights and hope that keep on fighting long enough for the Invoker to deal the damage. It's not like Pantomem is just known for his DPS anyway.
Exactly. The issue now, though, for this Invoker is that the BKBs, well, it's a 9-second BKB rather, not Shaman. We actually still have quite a long duration BKB on our Wraith King for this stage of the game. It's going to be now at 7 seconds.
Is respectable.
I believe our bats is down to 5, however. 7 seconds as well, and actually with the Offering Core, that's going to be much less effective downtime. Gambit, they are going to let this be 7 to lose Roshan, number 2, Aegis and Cheese in tow, and Scott now with the Sunstrike. They make a play here is the question, and I think the answer is no.
Difference between 7 and 6 seconds on BKB is massive. Usually that's the threshold between pretty much invulnerability for the whole team fight and, okay, there's actually a chance to attack you. Now the Roshan will fall, Aegis goes to the Batrider, of course. Because if you give it to the Wraith King, it's just redundant. Does he say that as well?
I don't think so.
Okay, I know that's Ricky's line when he gets invulnerability. Sorry, invisibility.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. It's nice Sunstrike onto the range creep. Why not? A little bit more efficiency there. That's going to get him a little bit closer now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Nice. Continue locking down here the big red blimp, whose BKB quite long. Yamich, though, is going to be a real problem here on Shaman. They actually don't have any. So if he gets a shackles off onto someone and he's BKB'd, they just got to sit. That's not true, because they can hit him with the false promise. That'll get rid of it.
Oh, that's true. They have one that dispelled.
Oh, now they have a Lotus. The two things there, two shackles.
But Lotus is a basic spell. I think it's a spell.
Well, not.
The false promise is the hardest
strongest spells only. You know what?
Yeah, yes, exactly. So it's only false promise. And Lotus, you can use it to prevent the shackles from coming out, though. Shackle himself, and that immediately cancels it, of course.
Well, unless he's BKB.
Unless it's BKB, that's true. Oh, I don't know how the bug works. The Sunder goes through BKB when you load.
I would be surprised if Shack.
I mean, me too, but I'd be surprised with a lot of things in Dota, like the toss bug. Still in the game.
Dota is a game of exceptions, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's like actually the Spanish language. Same with our verbs. It's a language of exceptions. Every verb in Spanish is irregular to some. Not every, but a lot.
Got a little bit of a flanking maneuver trying to be set up here by the side of Gambit. They might actually be able to get away with this one as Strike. They just want to see one tower left, and they're going to go for it here in the bottom lane. That D-ward, though, is going to cut the vision that Gambit desperately needs to get the engagement they're looking for, but now they go. They've been scouted on the back lines, and Smoke's going to break in to be able to lasso off the Darks here. He's immediately getting chunked down. They don't catch anyone in the static storm. However, Blizzy's still alive, but for how much longer as his Oracle gets chunked down, the Wraith King immediately jumping onto him, or make that rather the Batrider. Spell is now the Darkseer's down. They have managed to find the Shaman. Can they get a kill on in the meantime? Sunstrike, but in the meantime, it's going to be the PL falling solo. The Hex, they managed to catch him. Can he get off anything here in the meantime? As he is just continuing to get ran down and Invoker with a nice tornado as the buyback off from Excess Vampire trying to do whatever he can, but Johnny just being ran down. He needs to run even faster. Here's Lorenof back in the fight. They will manage to stop the Shackles. Still alive with that PL, but can't survive long enough. 4 heroes dead for Gambit, and they will throw in the towel.
Well, Lorenof did what he could, honestly. I think he played a really good match on this Invoker, but unfortunately, the draft didn't play him in favors, and that pick on Brewmaster was fantastic. Seriously, I can't believe I actually watched the game, and I can say it in a cast that it was the Brewmaster pick that won the game. I am beyond excited.